Weeks 3 and 4 with Uma have been crazy because I was out of town for a week. I went to Japan where I got to work with some amazing dogs, got to meet some great people, and not only that, but learned how dogs and training are viewed in that particular part of the world. Then I went to China where I was invited to work with more dogs, where I was invited to give several seminars on dog training, and I was able to meet even more trainers and pet professionals and grow my craft. And then as soon as I got back to Florida, Hurricane Milton was hitting, so we had to spend a few days or a week dealing with that. But that doesn't mean Uma wasn't still working, because Shailene was still here handling business. During these couple of weeks, we worked on building our place queue, which, if you recall, we used with Uma during our last video to help introduce her to the rest of our pack. However, during that process, we were right there with the leash. So now we're adding in distance so we don't have to be standing right next to her when we're utilizing place. We're also going to be using place to help with our muzzle conditioning process. Uma is not a bite risk by any means, but we do muzzle condition all of the dogs within our care. And this is because muzzles are not just for aggressive or bite risk dogs. Muzzles can be used as a management tool, for example, for issues that make eating things outside a life or death situation, such as pica or ME. They can also be extremely helpful for nervous or anxious dogs because of that stigma surrounding the muzzle. People see that muzzle and they don't want to approach the dog. This means for a dog that's already nervous around people, we know that no one's going to invade their space. This means that the dog can be around other people and dogs without fear that other people are going to invade their space. So we can condition the dog to being around those people from a distance, despite the fact that we're very close, because no one is going to invade their space. Muzzles can also aid in introducing dogs who don't know each other. Just like with the leash, the muzzle tends to affect the dog's mentality, especially if we've conditioned it in a positive way. So this allows for a calmer, safer introduction between dogs who don't know each other. And there are countless other benefits to muzzle training your dog, to include using them as an alternative to a cone after certain medical procedures. So for these and countless other reasons, we muzzle train all of the dogs within our care. We've also continued working on our body positioning, being comfortable being in certain positions next to us, as well as being lured into those positions. And as you can see, we're also getting her used to being touched while in those positions so that we can work on that nice tight heel later on. As far as her loose leash walking skills go, she's getting better and better every day. And we're combining these two in order to help her with her reactivity issues. If you recall, Uma has some reactivity issues when it comes to dogs, cats, cars, people, whatever. So we've been putting her in a lot of situations where she can get positive exposure to these things that would normally set her off. We call it existence socialization, but it's just the idea of teaching the dog to be around these different stimuli without feeling the need to react. We have another video on our channel that goes over exactly what existence socialization is and the steps to building it up. With reactive dogs, we want to make sure that we're not just throwing them into that situation, because then they'll have an explosion. We want to make sure that we are doing it slowly and methodically so that we can create and build that positive association to the different stimuli, ensuring that they don't feel the need to react. Uma's been doing great in the crate. We've been doing a lot of crate training exercises, as well as calming activities while she's in the crate. She's also been moved to a much larger crate, which definitely won't be her last move. She's a growing girl, but we have plenty of crates of varying sizes. For this video, we matched crate training and play because they are two sides of the same coin. As you can see, Uma's definitely getting more comfortable when it comes to that sort of interactive play. She's not 100% there yet, she's still a little uneasy, but she's getting there. However, with those rising comfort levels comes shenanigans. She's going to be more comfortable jumping on us and sort of pushing those boundaries to see what she can get away with. Mixing these high energy play sessions with impulse control exercises like crate training or place training will teach her how to regulate her own emotions so that she knows how to go from a level 10 excitement down to a level 0. That's how we create balance.